Hey everyone, it's Dan Hines. Welcome back to Adulting with Money. I've got with us Doug Walker, and his channel is RoominessTV, where he gives us straightforward steps to an inviting home. Doug, how's it going?
Going well, Dan. Thanks for having me on your channel.
Well, it's good to have you. So I am terrible at all things when it comes to trying to have an inviting home. I could live in a shack and be a happy camper. As long as I've got a big TV and a comfortable recliner, I'm pretty happy. So when it comes to others like you that have an eye for what it means to have an inviting home, I'm so happy to talk to you because I have a lot to learn. So I guess I really want to start with, when you say an inviting home, what does that mean to you?
Well, to me, that means a home where you and your guests all can feel comfortable together and feel like the home is both inviting you in and kind of welcoming you to the space.
So when you walk into a room and you can tell that it needs some love and attention, what are like the first things that you notice about that room?
Wow, there are definitely some things that are telltale signs of issues with the room. The first thing that I often see in online photos of rooms are rooms that have just one light that are sitting in the middle of the ceiling, and that's the only light on in the room, which really is giving terrible lighting for everybody who's sitting there. Second thing that I often see is furniture that is pushed all the way up against the walls all around the room, leaving all the space in the middle for some kind of performance art. I don't know what. Those two things in combination can make rooms feel just kind of uninviting and very limited by the walls of the room itself.
Oh, okay. So, this being a money channel, trying to help people, I'm trying to help couples unite, not fight over money. And so one thing that can be a fight is buying expensive furniture, or buying furniture that one partner wants but the other doesn't, for a number of reasons. So, we were talking about trying to find more frugal, or let's say affordable, ways to brighten up a room to make it more inviting. So what's like your first couple tips that really help out with that?
Well, the first thing you can do for making a room more inviting is completely free, is to rearrange the furniture. Like I talked about, lining it up around the walls actually makes you focus on the walls rather than the space. So taking into account looking at your focal points, like a window or a fireplace, and lining up your furniture so that it's centered in the room and balanced on either side, so say a furniture facing a fireplace and having two chairs on either side of the sofa, so that you're using both that focal point, your center line of the room, and creating balance on either side of it, is an easy way to set up your room so it's more inviting.
Oh, cool. Okay. So let me go back a little bit, and I'm going to show my ignorance here, is that you said something about a focal point. What is that? I have no clue.
The focal point of the room is going to be whatever, usually architectural, thing that you want to draw attention to. So the most natural focal points in a living room would be a fireplace. Another natural focal point is a window, a picture window that's going to be looking out on lawn, back lawn, something that's pretty outside. If you don't have either of those, then you can create a focal point out of creating a focus wall. People do that with like a TV and bookshelves, or having some kind of a feature wall that's actually got then either a pattern or some kind of paint technique that creates a focus on one wall of the room. Another thing that you can do is add lighting. I talked about the central ceiling fixture. If you have lamps around a room, especially in a triangle, that means that you'll have at least two lights on the front of every person who's in the room, and that helps a lot in terms of giving a gentle and warm ambiance to your space.
When it comes to focal points, and you talked about some free stuff and some affordable things that help liven up a room and to make it more inviting, what are some ways that people waste money? Where do we spend way too much cost and not enough reward?
Well, I would say people tend to waste money on things if they are not going to actually get the value out of it in the end. And I'll say that a lot of times that's going to be because of habits. The easiest one to say is, if you don't make your bed every morning, why are you going to spend a whole lot of money on new bedding? So that's one way that people waste money is spending money on decor things that they just don't have the habit set up that they're going to enjoy them. Another way that people waste money is that they try to make their finishes in their home much better than the home itself. Try not to overstep the architecture of your house and create a completely marble covered bathroom off your master bedroom when the rest of the house is very much not that style and not going to support that kind of renovation in your bathroom. Another way I see people waste money, especially in renovations, is to create floor space and square footage, but it's not actually useful square footage. Something you should think about is either having an architect work with you so that you know that you're going to have useful space at the end, or actually look at where is my furniture going to sit in this new renovation so that we're not adding square footage that when we look at it in the end is just useless.
You know, going along with kind of usefulness or not usefulness, I want to talk about like candles and scents, because for me, again, I'm gonna fall into that stereotype where I don't really care. As long as it doesn't smell bad, I don't really mind what the house kind of smells like. But my wife, you know, we're getting to be the holiday season. She's gonna be buying a lot of holiday candles and she loves lighting them all day. And I'm willing to help her or let her do it because it does smell nice. But for me, it's like, okay, it's all right. I don't know if that helps create an inviting room or not in your eyes.
In my eyes, scents can kind of go one way or the other. Some people are very sensitive to scents, and so if you're having guests over, you have to be a little bit conscious about that. Certainly, they can add to the ambiance of your room, especially on special occasions, special evening together, intimate times together. One of the best ways I think to have scents in a house is just by cooking. You know, having a great bread baking in the oven or ham baking in the oven kind of smell throughout the house is always a really inviting and homey kind of aroma to have around.
Oh, cool. So if people are coming over, if I just throw some garlic and some onions on the stove and just let it cook, I'm not making anything, but just let it cook, that should maybe help out.
You'll probably get a reaction. Yeah.
So we talked about wasting money, and we all know that time is money. So what might be like a waste of time? Maybe it's an affordable, cheap way to improve a room, but it just takes forever. And because it takes forever, it just really wasn't worth it. Is there anything that we're wasting our time on when it comes to trying to improve a space?
Well, what I'd say is that if your room renovation is taking forever, you're doing it all yourself, and it's just been dragging on, I'm gonna bet that you're probably having trouble making decisions. Deciding on exactly what paint color you want, or deciding on exactly what kind of trim you want to use. And so obviously it's always nice if you can to make those decisions as much as you can up front so that your actual process of installing is as short as possible, because like you say, any kind of dragged out renovation can be no fun at all. If you're in the middle of it and you're coming to a point where, gosh, I don't know what I want to do here, it may really be worth a few bucks to have somebody come in and consult with you and look at what you've got and where you're headed and say, what might be better is if you use this kind of trim in this space, because that will match better with your house and go with the furniture that you're thinking about.
I'm glad you said that, because when it comes to money, I try to teach couples the same thing, is that, the first habit a couple needs to master is setting goals. Because if you get a bonus or something happens and you're not sure what to do with your money, usually that indecision comes from because you don't know what you want. And so I'm really happy to hear that you're a proponent of like, okay, decide what you want and then go get it. Decide what you want and then make the changes, so that way when you're painting, you paint an entire room and spend a whole day doing it, and it's the color that you want. All right, so Doug, I'm sure there's people out there that have Pinterest boards that just go on for pages and pages and pages. And we were talking about how you can spend a lot of time dreaming, but at some point you got to spend that time doing. So, how do you feel about that? How do you get people from a Pinterest board to actually getting things done in their home?
Well, that's interesting you say that. Yes, people can spend a lot of time looking at what they might make their interior look like, but maybe not as much time as they should going for that actual ideal and going out and looking for the things that could make their home better. So instead of spending all that time putting together your Pinterest board, I think people should at least take some of that time and use it to actually save money. And so if you're out looking for bargains in terms of furniture that you could use, if you're out looking for contractors or stores that are good places to find good deals on furniture, or just having knowledge of when people are going to have sales on at their store, so you can know, all right, hey, that one piece of furniture, that sofa, that armoire that I really want is going to be on sale come this coming week. Then you can be prepared and hopefully save yourself some money and actually get some things accomplished in your decor.
Oh, cool. Okay, so it's less time searching on Pinterest boards and creating a board that you want, but more about like, hey, I'm gonna be a savvy shopper. I'm gonna take that same amount of time and just go peruse. Like, when is Rooms to Go gonna have their sale? Because there's always gonna be another sale. There's gonna be discounts, and so you wanna be ready so that way when something that you want goes on sale or you can get a bargain, you're ready to pounce. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
That is exactly what I'm talking about.
Be sure to check out Doug's channel where he asked me about how to make your home more inviting without fighting about money. YouTube thinks you're gonna love this video, and thanks for watching. And don't forget, consistency beats perfection.